Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 518 of the DrunkNerds podcast. As always, I'm Tyler. And joining me, we have everybody's favorite Swiftie, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey man, I'll tell you what, it's been a fantastic week for game announcements. I know, for example, for this week, it's like I'm excited. Work week's done and over with. Have a chance to reflect upon the game announcements from this past week, the gameplay stuff, not just Silent Hill related, but like Resident Evil related and stuff. And on top of that, I did a little bit of like upgrading for the PS5 stuff because I think it was like a last episode of the one before. I finally got replacement console covers and stuff for my PS5 this
Mm.
week. Not only did I get my decal for the front portion of my system, but also found on clearance an NVMe card, like a 1 terabyte one, the WD Black ones and stuff like that. It's like the one that Sony touts to being the ones they use
Okay.
in their stuff. It may not be the top of the line NVMe though, but it was 145. So I'm like, that's cheap in comparison to some of the other ones on the market. So I'm happy. I have internal storage as well as external stuff for PS4 content. Everything's all nice and good for that stuff. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy I'm like a week out until I go on another vacation, my last vacation of the year.
I hate you. Okay.
uh, well, have to use it or lose it. So it's
Mm.
like, what better time than Extra Life
Yep.
Week?
2 weeks away, baby. 2 weeks
Absolutely.
away.
That
Yeah.
being said, Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, it was a long week, but, we're here in the weekend. Having a good time. It's been a nice, relaxing day. Weather's been pretty nice. We've it got cold there for a little bit, and now it's warm again.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty warm out today. Took Louis out for a nice. Make sure he's not within the earshot. Took him for a nice WALK, and that was nice. I thought we were done with those for the year, or at least good long ones because it gets cold. Um, and yeah, I was gonna take him for a nice long one again. Probably gonna do it again tomorrow. Don't know how many more of these we got. But yeah, it was okay. Nothing too crazy going on with me otherwise. But just try and enjoy this weather for as long as we can before it gets miserable out, which is gonna happen here soon. So, but
Mm.
you were mentioning Gables.
Yes.
You got a week off coming up here soon.
Yeah.
And that's because, like you mentioned, Extra Life, which is coming up, and like we said, just 2 weeks. People don't know Extra Life. If you there's time codes. If you want to skip this, it's in there. They're down in the show description. But if you don't know what this is, it is a really cool charity that we do every year. It's November 5th. This will be my 11th. This will be Gables' 10th year. I got these
Yes.
cool T-shirts here for it. I got that gold medal back there. If you're watching us, right
Oh yeah, yeah. There you
there.
go.
It's one of my gold medals. I got 2 of those in a silver. But yeah, if you we do this every year. We get together. We play games for 24 straight hours. You can pick any hospital you want in Canada or United States. Gables picks one in Seattle. I picked one in Iowa City. If you are a football fan at all, and you know of the Iowa Hawkeyes, every week when they play at home, they wave to the kids after the first quarter. That's the hospital that I'm talking about. Fun fact: it is the street name for that is for the kids way, which is really cool. But yeah, so really cool thing we do every year. We play games for 24 straight hours. You just go on extra-life.org, sign up. It's a really cool charity. It's been going on since 2008 for a girl named Tori, who sadly she passed away. She's a teenage girl that sadly passed away a while back from cancer. And a really cool thing that Doc Adams started for that. And since then, it's raised well over $100 million. I think last year they raised about $12 million. And hopefully we can get another 10, 12 million this year. So if you're interested in that, like I said, go to extra-life.org. If you want to donate to us, really would appreciate it. I'll put the links to our Extra Life pages in the show notes. If not, if you're interested in yourself, even better. The more people that join and participate and spread the word, the better. That means more people are spreading the word. Means more people are participating. It means more money is being raised for these kids. So yeah, check that out. And next week will be our last podcast before Extra Life. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out when we're gonna record the week of Extra Life that weekend. Probably do that Sunday or something.
It'll have to be Sunday, Tyler.
Yeah, we'll be pretty wrecked, but we'll do it then. And so next week we'll talk about our plans for Extra Life. We're planning on doing stuff like that, and Gables and I will come up with some get a more of a concrete plan. We got a lot of ideas floating around, but we haven't really locked anything into place. So so check that out. But after you checked it out, come back to us. Stop this, go there, check them out. So do that first. Sign up, help those kids, help those big beautiful kids. And then come back to us and follow, subscribe, check us out all the places: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the whatever pods or casts, we're on them. But this right here is the Taylor Swift Drunk-Nerds podcast, where every week we get together and talk, rank, and review every single album of Taylor Swift. Gables, let's talk about Midnights. First up, Lavender Haze.
What the hell?
Did you not get I sent you a message. We're not talking about video games this week. We're talking about Taylor Swift's Midnight. How many times you listen? You must have missed memo. Well, I'm talking about Midnight. No, I'm kidding. But it's fantastic album, Gables. It was
oh my God.
Friday was a good day. Friday, we were feasting on Friday.
Okay.
Not only Gables, the album Midnight dropped down 13 tracks at 3 a.m. Gables, guess what she did? Surprise us, 7 more tracks. My little heart couldn't take it. I almost died. It was great. It was good. Made for the one of the few upsides about driving in a truck for 12 hours a day. It was just listening to Taylor Swift on repeat for a good long while. It was a great day. It was a good day. As good as it possibly can be at work. So it was
at least you had some fun enjoyment while you're driving.
Yes.
All those ways.
Yes, but no, I'm kidding. This is a video game podcast where we talk about video games. So let's I guess we could table the Taylor Swift discussion for next week. I can't believe I called you the number one Swiftie. Let's talk about Silent Hill, Gables. So they announced Sunday night, just randomly dropped it, which always throws me off when they do that, but then I always forget that Sunday night for us is like Monday late morning for Japan. So announced they're doing a Silent Hill transmission on Wednesday. We got like a 40-minute long thing event. It was pre-recorded and all that. So some of the stuff we don't really need to talk about the whole thing itself. But if you want to buy some things that aren't NFTs, but look like NFTs, Konami's got them for you. Yeah. But anyways, so it started off here. We got a debut trailer for the Silent Hill 2 remake. So basically everything that we're going to talk about is stuff that we've already talked about because this shit leaked a long ass fucking time ago. Now we just have concrete information on it. We've literally been talking about some of these leaks for over a year now. So they announced Silent Hill 2 remake. It's coming to PC and it'll be on PS5. It'll be a PS5 exclusive for 12 months, and then it can hit Xbox a year later. It's being made by Bloober Team. Do you want to tackle these one at a time, Gables, or should we just kind of read the whole thing, go back and circle back?
Let's just read the whole thing, and we'll just go with the way back.
Okay. Next came the reveal of Silent Hill Townfall, developed by Stories Untold and observation maker No Code. And this will be published by Annapurna Interactive. So yeah, this one's more of a mystery. We don't really know what this is. But apparently we might be getting it next year. Or we'll hear about more from it next year, rather. They also announced a new Silent Hill movie called Return to the Silent Hill. Christopher Gaines, I believe is how you say his name. Or Gaines. He directed the 2006 movie. That wasn't that bad, actually. But he's directing that, and apparently it's coming out next year. But apparently they're still, like, they haven't even started filming, and they don't have a cast yet. But apparently it's coming out next year. So either this movie is going to be ran on a $20 budget, or it's not coming next year. After that, we had Silent Hill Ascension. Ascension is described as a real-time interactive series in which players watch together as a story plays out. You can change outcomes and be part of scenes. And there's a handful of companies, I guess, work on this one. One of the big one, one of the main ones out of this was the Dead by Daylight developer, Behavior and DJ 2 Entertainment. and J.J. Abrams' company Bad Robot Games. And this was come out 2023. And then last but not least, they had a game called Silent Hill F. It was a teaser trailer. We had no gameplay. What we do know is a Silent Hill game based in 1960s Japan.
Damn.
And the Japanese visual novel writer Rikishi 707 is helping write this one. And I can't remember the name of the developer. I have to write that down. But they are the ones that made Resident Evil Reverse, which comes out next week. That's a multiplayer game. And Resident Evil Retribution, which was the multiplayer game that came bundled in with Resident Evil 3 remake.
Okay.
So that's their history. That's all I know of them. I don't know if there's anything other. I didn't double check that one. So that's kind of the whole thing. There's a lot of other stuff they talked about. There's like dev diaries and merchandise, stuff like that. If you're interested, you can check the whole thing out. But really, this is what we're here for. We got 4 games and a movie. I don't know, give us what's your opinions on some of these?
All right, coming from the perspective of someone that doesn't really play too much Silent Hill or even like Silent Hill in general, I've been aware of the series since it initially came out on PlayStation, but I have been mostly the outsider looking in. But from what I did see, Silent Hill 2 Remastered does look like it's going to be a fairly interesting game in that regards. I was a little bit interested in seeing the correlations and like the whole aspect of Bloober Team having to tackle this whole remaster without sacrificing some bit of the source material in regards to that stuff, because I know the previous games that they've done, like say the Medium for instance and stuff, people have liked some of their games and stuff, but it hasn't been like above and beyond. I'm just saying,
Swimming in sevens.
It's like swimming in sevens, exactly like what you were saying. For them working on this is pretty ambitious for them, going and tackling a remaster of a PS2 classic. So for Silent Hill 2, it looked fine. The gameplay portions, I'm not too familiar with and stuff, but seeing Pyramid Head in all his glory and all that other shit, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool in that stuff. But if I had to gauge my excitement level and stuff, it wasn't as high as say like the Annapurna Silent Hill project, because that looks fairly interesting to me, because it's more of a story, it's basically more like a not like a graphic novel. No, it's more like one of those type of observation type of games. It's from the same developers that have done like
Stories Untold, observation.
Yeah, Stories Untold and stuff, which supposedly is pretty damn good from what I've been understanding. But I'm interested in seeing the whole thought and feel inside the Silent Hill universe in regards to this game, because it looks fairly intriguing. The whole concept of what we saw from it was basically them talking a little bit about the story aspect of it, plus showcasing this little portable TV, which kind of brought me back to the early 90s, because that was something one of my dad used to have and stuff like that, because he would let me use that to watch certain cartoons or something when he was watching movies or some stuff. But Silent Hill F was the one that actually made me the most excited out of all that stuff. Give or take the movies, I'm hit and miss with movies as it is and stuff, and give and take what that other Silent Hill content was in regards to all this audience going to
Ascension. Yeah,
Ascension.
Ascension.
Yeah, Silent Hill Ascension. That basically kind of looks like what was. Oh yeah, Final Destination. That's the thing I could see that kind of tied in closest to what I could compare the Silent Hill Ascension stuff like that. It's basically your choose your own adventure type of horror story, quintessentially. Only you're having people vote live or something like that.
Yeah, I guess
this or does that.
The thing I keep hearing people say, it's like Twitch plays Pokemon, but a horror novel. We're basically everybody goes through this thing. I don't know how long it's going to be. It could be, sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's a day. I guess the Ascension real fast. They're really popular, mobile games, and also I guess TikTok. It's kind of taken off too. So there's a pretty. It's just one of those things where it's we talk about all the time. There's those mobile games that come out that we've never even heard of, and they're the biggest fucking game. They're the biggest games out there. And we've never heard of them before. So
right.
That's just a genre that we don't know, that it's got a big audience. So,
but yeah, with that stuff, stuff, like that stuff put aside and stuff, Silent Hill F, I thought was the most interesting thing that came out of that Silent Hill conference, because it showcased something that we haven't seen before, which was a brand new Silent Hill game based upon a different area in the world. Basically, this is like 1960s Japan and stuff. You looks like you have the role of like a schoolgirl or something going like navigating throughout this stuff, but it was pseudo creepy on top of like the atmosphere. There's sort of like this virus or something take a hold of her or whatsoever, and it was so gruesome in aspects of it too, where literally the last portion of it, you just see her face just slide. You'd see the skin on her face just sliding off and
Yeah,
stuff, looked like she was infested with this
it's
plant.
very creepy.
Yeah, it's that type of Japanese horror that is fairly effective, and it can be pretty damn popular. That's
Hmm.
kind of what kind of made me a little bit more excited, because that stuff can really fuck with your head
Yeah, yeah.
long after and stuff. But yeah, if I had to give a grade for this little Silent Hill stuff, I would have gave it like a solid B, because it's like you had stuff that would appeal to long-time Silent Hill fans. You had some new content for ones that maybe are getting into the series for the first time. I mean, after this, I'm kind of interested in delving a bit into Silent Hill, just because I'm kind of curious about it now. But other than that, though, I mean, Silent Hill Ascension, I'm like, eh. The movie stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's okay, but whatever. I'm more interested in the game portions that I feel like are going to be actual games.
Yeah.
But Tyler, what was your thoughts going through this?
I thought it was good. I unfortunately watched the transmission thing,
Hmm.
and it was it's a lot of talking. But if we just
Yeah,
talk
there
about
was.
the actual what we got, the trailers and stuff like that we got itself. Like you, I'm not a Silent Hill person. I remember playing it way back in the day when I was like 7 or 8, way too young to be playing that game, playing Silent Hill 1. But I was just too dumb to like I couldn't know where the hell to go. I just kept just walking in the fog. Um, and so like that's I just remember walking on a street and stuff and going to a school, and I don't remember much else. Um, but yeah, I thought Silent 2 remake. From what we saw, I mean, I think that looks really cool with the it's Unreal Engine 5. Not a lot of gameplay, but I mean, seems like it looks pretty cool. I'm all for it. Like we're getting this nice renaissance of these survival horror style games, so I'm all for it. And yeah, I don't know. I thought that looked pretty cool. The blooper teeth thing. I understand a lot of people were pretty down on that. I don't know, I mean, I don't know Layers of Fear. I remember that coming out. I remember being really excited for it, and the reviews kind of came out because this is like not too long after Outlast came out, and
Yeah.
I was just like, okay. And then the reviews were like, oh, it's like a 7. I got a lot of 7s and stuff. I'm like, okay, like I want to check this out. And then I played the medium last year. It was like one of those day one Game Pass games.
Hmm.
And I really liked it. I thought it was really good. Like it's not like blow away, not game of the year or anything like that, but like it's a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10. And everybody kept saying is basically Bloober Team made a Silent Hill game. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like I've never really played, like I said, Silent Hill games. By the time I became like older, by that point they kind of ran the franchise into the ground. Um, so I never checked them out. So yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like, and I guess so. Some of the leaks out there is that Konami is like keeping a tight leash on Bloober Team about what they can and can't change, which I don't know if it's
Right.
good or bad. Because I've heard some people be excited because like, oh well, Bloober Team might fuck it up, but I've also like my thinking is like, oh, this is Konami, they can easily fuck it up too. So, but it sounds like some of the big things. How about it's gonna be third person, behind the back, and they're like just updating the gameplay and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like, I imagine this is gonna be like the Resident Evil remakes, like where they're changing the story, but
Right.
keeping for the most part it's the same, but making changes to the story. This probably just be a 1-for-1 remake with just updated gameplay, which great. I'm all for that. I'm gonna check that out. Though like the Silent Hill Townfall stuff, like I don't really, I've heard of Observation. I didn't really know anything about Stories Untold. I went and watched some trailers on that. It's a lot of text based stuff. A lot of I'm just like, no, I'm not. If it's more of that, I'm sure it'll be good because Annapurna's working on this.
Right.
And I always say Annapurna don't miss. Annapurna cannot put out a bad game. They might not. They might put a game out that's not for you. But
Right.
the games are always good. Like they're never like top tier games, but they're always 7s, 8s. You know, they're never bad. Silent Hill Ascension, we talked about it. I don't. That is not an us thing.
Right.
Silent Hill F, I'm excited for the idea of it. Obviously, I'm never one to get too crazy over a CG trailer. But from what we got here in the description, 1960s game based in Japan, a horror game. That sounds awesome. Because we get these survival horror games, but we never get the the Evil Within kind of like mess with the Japanese stuff a little bit. And I thought that was really cool and terrifying, especially 2 did a little bit of that. And like Ghostwire Tokyo, I was really excited for that idea of being in Japan. And I love the world they built in. I love some of the Japanese styles they were using, but it was not a horror game. It was just I don't know. I don't even call it like a combat game. I don't know what it was, but it was something. If we can get just like a terrifying, a really well made survival horror game based in Japan, that would be fucking awesome, because that shit would be terrifying. That'd be fucking great. I am worried about like the whole idea. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what other games. I can't remember. Like I said, I wish I would have got that developer team. I should have looked it up beforehand. I want to see what else they made, because I mean, I don't think Resident Evil Reverse or Retribution would have done well regardless of who made it. I don't think anybody could have made that game good. But he's on the best pedigree, I guess. At least lately. So, but I don't know. Maybe like you know, if they can get a chance to kind of, maybe this is one of those cases where they kind of prove us all wrong, and that'd be great, because, you know, fucking Naughty Dog, they made Crash Bandicoot, and then who would have thought they would have made Uncharted and Last of Us? So, everybody makes their breakout game eventually. So maybe this could be that for them. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I like I said, for someone that's not a Resident Evil fan, it seems like the Resident Evil fans are Resident Evil. Jesus, we're about to go to Resident Evil. Sorry, the Silent Hill fans are happy for the most part with this.
Yeah.
Obviously concerned because you can't ever trust Konami. But I don't know. I mean, if they seem like they're pretty happy with this, and from what we've seen, looks like if Silent Hill 2 remake is at least good, I think that's good, and then Silent Hill F is at least pretty good. Or, you know, at least average. That's way better than what Konami was doing with Silent Hill for a decade, before the decade of nothing from them. So yeah, I don't know. If we could just get to a level of average, I mean, I think Silent Hill fans will just be happy with that. This is not a Sonic thing, where they just keep putting out bad Sonic games and you guys keep accepting them. They haven't done anything for a decade, and before that, for a decade, they put out trash Silent Hill games. So they can just put out average games. I think they'll be happy. I think that'd be great. I hope for Silent Hill fans, I hope they're good, and I hope they're happy. So, but Gables, let's move on. I kept saying it. Resident Evil. We got a Resident Evil showcase. Yep. They announced it on Monday, the day after. I heard some people were saying, "Oh, well, this is like a fuck you to Silent." No, to be fair, they did announce in September they were doing a Resident Evil showcase at the end of October. So this was,
that's true.
They didn't have a date yet, but they already said they were doing one this month. Could they have changed it to be the day after? Maybe. I don't know. But they already had one planned. And it's not like they can not like in a day they whipped up this whole fucking thing either. So getting into it though, we had the more details and some stuff, a lot of stuff we already knew. The winter's expansion is coming out next Friday, October 28th. That is like, if you already own Resident Evil Village, I think it's $20 to upgrade, and you get the DLC, and you get like some of the new characters for, what's that fucking, a time attack mode shit called? I can't remember what it's called.
Oh geez, I have since forgot about that.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Jeez,
anyways, though, you get they're adding more shit to that. And you can play as like Lady D and stuff like that. But I guess they made Lady D shorter in the game, which, what the fuck? Like, you literally destroyed the whole point of me even want to play the thing. Mercenary mode.
She's literally the size of Oddjob. I mean,
yeah.
What the hell is that?
I was gonna kick people in the shin and then get an easy shot. Yeah, so it's called Mercenary mode. So there's new content for that, and then there's also the DLC we play as Rose. I hope that DLC is good, because this is gonna wrap up the winter saga, I guess. And I loved Village, and I would like for this to be good, especially if it's going to wrap up the whole saga with the winners. They announced a new third-person mode. They already announced it, but they confirmed that no matter what no matter what angle you move the camera around, Ethan will always move his face. You can never see his face, which is really funny. They showed off They showed off Resident Evil Reverse. So you could buy this separately, but if you already own Village, or you buy the Village, the Gold Edition or whatever, as long as you own Village, you get the game with it already for free. But if you own Village, you get to play the game 4 days early on the 24th, which I don't know why you'd want to do that. But apparently there is a battle pass for this as well. And they said there will be continuing to support it well after. They also announced that for the Switch, they already announced that we were getting these games via the cloud, but we got dates now. So Resident Evil 2, the cloud version, is coming November 11th. Resident Evil 3 is coming November 18th. And then finally, Resident Evil 7, December 16th. So if you want to pay full price for a cloud game on the Switch, there you go. But anyways, the real meat and potatoes, the real reason we're talking about this thing, we got some more gameplay. Resident Evil 4, we got a story trailer for Resident Evil 4. We both watched it. We just watched the gameplay, the gameplay trailer again. Gables, what was your thoughts on this thing?
All right, so getting straight to the point and stuff. The best and exciting stuff was that Resident Evil 4 gameplay. I mean, Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village and stuff, that's a good game. That DLC I have high hopes for. That ties up every loose end and stuff of that series, that freaking title in and of itself. But the meat and potatoes here is that Resident Evil 4 gameplay and story trailer, and oh Jesus Christ, that did look fantastic. From the moment that Leon went into their, like, that opening gameplay cinematic stuff, you go into this cave and stuff, and you find one of the security guards and stuff. No, not security guards. Find one of the guards or something like that was accompanying you throughout the trip. Is like, he's dead, and then like his partner and stuff, is visibly in distress and stuff. Obviously, he was killed because that's how they were in the original games. Like, both of his chauffeurs, as they were and stuff, were burning at a pole.
Oh, that's right. Like, yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's that scene. That's the most familiar scene. That's the opening part of the game from the original Resident Evil 4. And that was the section that they showcased inside this gameplay trailer. I'm so happy they did that, because had they gone to a specific element inside of that game, I would not have recognized a lot of that stuff. But because I have played through that opening section a couple different times and have done, like, stuff past, like, say, like, oh God, that big old fucking monster in the lake and stuff like that. Lago. Yeah, the Lago. The boat. Yeah, that's right.
God, I forgot about that fight.
Fucking loved that fight. It was so fucking hot. That was so crazy. But getting back to things at hand and stuff, we went to this main village and stuff. Leon's going through that, and like, I got flashbacks of playing Resident Evil 4 for the first time on the GameCube, to where it's like, I'm in the village, I'm getting chased after these crates, like lunatics and stuff. Not too sure what the hell's going on and stuff. Being chased with a dude with a burlap sack over his head with a fucking chainsaw and stuff. Learning about new elements inside this gameplay. The moment that Leon went past the cow in the barn, shot the light bulb, lit the cow on fire, and fucking catapulted to the fucking villagers, trampling them. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's good resource management, but come on, man.
No, man. It's like how the hell are they gonna top that? That after the final scene of the gameplay is when he fucking parries the chainsaw guy with his knife. His fucking knife parries the goddamn chainsaw. And I'm like, what? They added some Street Fighter bullshit to this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's when the gears in my head started to click. It's like, this is in good hands. This is a good sign. We're going to be getting this game relatively soon, next year. Late March 2023.
24. Yep. March 24th.
Well, 2020. No, March 24th, 2023. You're correct. I am now excited about this game come next year. This looks fantastic. I am fascinated to see what else that may have been changed in regards to RE4. It looks like some story elements have been changed, as noticed by the end of that story trailer.
Mm.
Like, there was not any time that I can remember of Ashley actually holding a gun or something like that
Yeah.
inside of the original release. She was more of a freaking scaredy cat and like kind of useless in sort of the
Oh,
escort missions
she
and
was
stuff.
off.
And
Yeah, that was that.
yeah, she was
Yeah,
awful.
yeah. Oh.
I mean, as great as Resident Evil 4 was, those escort missions were a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even I remember that stuff, dude, and I never even finished the original release.
What?
But it's but that's just the thing though. We have a fantastic game that's in development right now. This is making me more excited to actually want to play the game now than it ever has been. But Tyler, you're the man that knows a lot more about Resident Evil 4 than a lot of other people I know. What were your thoughts on this?
I'm still recovering from you just telling me that you never beat Resident Evil. I've been recording with you for nearly a decade now, and I don't think I ever knew this. Yeah, I mean, Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. I've talked about it. It was the first game I ever bought with my own money on day one. I remember it coming out, I think it was like early, mid-January, and I saved my Christmas money up, and I had just enough to buy it. And I remember my dad calling GameStop, seeing if they had it. Because back then, the game would come out, it's coming out, let's say January 10th. Doesn't mean the store is getting it January 10th. That just means
No.
it might just mean no. Maybe it's shipping January. Like we didn't have like where it's coming out. September 1st. It's there. So you can go pick it up at 9 p.m. the night before or something like that. No,
Boy.
back those man.
Those days are long dead.
Yes, thank God. I remember like you would and we went, my dad was home from work and he called GameStop and he's like, "Do you guys have Residential Evil 4?"
Residential Evil.
Yeah,
4.
no idea. My dad doesn't. My dad like plays games, but he's not like he was never like a gamer or anything. And I remember that story. My dad went up when I was at school, and he bought it. And he went up and got it for me. I gave him my money. He went and got it for me. And I remember coming home, and it was cool. Like it came with like a. It was really cool. Where I was helping my parents clean out their basement last summer, and I had a bunch of like my old DVDs and stuff like that, like all the South Park seasons, a bunch of like wrestling DVDs and a bunch of old games. I still have my book, my metal case for Resident Evil 4. And inside of it, it came with like a little Ada Wong, like a 1-inch figure, Ada Wong figure. And my dad was really nice. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. So like if I got something out, like a game or anything outside of Christmas or birthday, very rare. Really cool thing. My dad bought me the guide for it. Which is really cool. Yeah. So that was really, I like that. He bought it because I think he got like 20% off, whatever. I always remember that moment. One of the like really cool moments to me. But anyways, I proceeded to beat that game more than any other game in my entire lifetime. I remember I've talked about it several times on this podcast. If you've listened for a long time, you know the story. But for new people, I remember being in that game, going through it, trying to beat it in under 3 hours, trying to beat it with killing at least 1,000 zombies, trying to beat it. I remember beating it. I maxed out every single weapon in the game, and then finally went through, beat it enough times where you got a million, whatever the in-game currency was called. I believe it was 1 million to get the infinite rocket launcher, and I beat it one more time, only using the infinite rocket launcher. Just doing New Game Plus over and over and over again. Do that. I love that. I love that game so much growing up, and it was always my go-to to play through. Anyways, but I'm so excited. Like just seeing like it's been a long time. I remember playing it, like replaying it when they did the Resident Evil 4 HD on 360 back in the day, and it just didn't age very well. So I've been tempted to like replay it again. Like they ported it to like PS4 and stuff since. I've been tempted to go back and play it. But anyways, what we see in the story, like we definitely see some changes where you're no longer doing like the Metal Gear Solid, like you're talking to somebody and like you're just a screen with their face and your face and you're talking. Now they're actually like, they show like Leon talking and like it cuts to the person actually where they're at. You said, like you mentioned, the security guards, it's a little different now. I've heard some of the preview events. There's like flashbacks to stuff that happens in Resident Evil 2 and 3. We've heard some rumors about like there's that dog you can save at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
Now there's some back and forth whether that's the same dog or a different dog. because that dog, if you save it, comes back in a big way to help you later in the game.
Yes, it does.
So I hope that's still there, because that was a really cool moment when not only, I mean, you always save the fucking dog. You're a monster if you don't. Yeah, like we were watching that, I was watching that trailer with Gables, and he runs into the village, and I'm like, he fucked up. He didn't go for the shotgun, and it's like immediately popped right back in my head. I'm like, I know right where that fucking shotgun is. Like, I remember this. I've done this village moment probably 20 fucking times. I probably beat that game 20 times on GameCube back in the day, and I probably played through it though 30 times. And just, it's so cool, like, seeing the fact that on the chainsaw he can like cut through the fucking doors. He's like cutting down the fucking patio going through. Where's my boy Salazar though? I want to know where the fuck that is. Like, that's the thing I'm most curious about. That's gonna be one of the more difficult things, is like how well is like, because Resident Evil in general is kind of campy. Resident Evil 4 though, very campy. So I'm curious what's gonna happen with my boy Salazar. Is he gonna get real big again? I don't know. Yeah. So we got to see the one boss where, like, he fights. He turns like this weird spider thing. Yeah. It blew me away. I was like, you watch that. I was like, I popped several times during that thing. The whole thing with like the shooting the land down, the light the cow on fire, that's fucked up, man. What the fuck? Will I do it? Most likely, but I'm not happy about it. But man, that just brought back so many memories to me. For so many, like, I know a lot of people are concerned about this thing. You know how well they can do it, because this is probably the most important remake to do. Is like doing it well, doing it right. But I have the utmost faith that they can do it. And I'm not like beholden to this thing, where it's like, if they change one thing, I'm gonna be mad. Like, I love what they've done with 2 and 3 remakes. And
you really don't have any reason to doubt them, don't you?
What?
I said, you don't really have any reason to doubt that they're going to do a good job.
No, I mean, there was a rumor, there was a leaks that came out about a year and a half ago, where they had to change developers back to the Resident Evil 2 remake developers for this, because there was something. Right. The other person was falling behind. I can't remember the studio was working on it. Now they're a support studio on this, so that had me a little concerned, because like you can't fuck it up. But
you can't.
No. But like I said, I'm not beholden to, like, you gotta follow the plot line straight through. Like, just make it like the Reach for the Moon fucking engine is beautiful. They just need to use that for every, like, that should just be standard for every Capcom game, for every video game. The Reach for the Moon engine should just be the fucking engine. Yeah, I was blown away by it. It's way better. It's exactly what I wanted, but it's way better than anything I could have hoped for, at least from what we've seen so far. And yeah, this shot up for me, where like I'm excited to play through this, to like seeing that gameplay just from that little bit we saw, to like after God of War. I don't think there's a game I'm more excited for.
I see your point, man. I mean, after you finish Ragnarok, this is going to be in your front center of your mind coming into 2023,
like,
dude.
I mean, we still got like fucking Callisto Protocol, Dead Space coming out before that. We got so many other games coming out, and it's just like, fuck, dude. Like Resident Evil 4. Like, I went from like, I was excited, but I wasn't like, it's not like that. Like, you're excited for the game coming out, but like you're not like fucking hyped jazz for it to come out. Like, you can't fucking wait. You're counting the days, you know, like I've been doing for God of War for 4 years. This is like, it went from like, okay, that's coming in March. All right, I'm gonna buy that one for sure. I'm excited for it. It's like, I can't fucking wait for March to get here. It's like that, boom, right there, change in my head watching that trailer. So, yeah. Oh boy, I don't know if you have anything else you want to say on Gables before we move on.
No, that's perfectly done right there.
Okay. Well, moving on, Gables. So we talked about a little bit this last week, and it kind of came out last Saturday. We talked about the Bayonetta 3 with Helena Taylor, and it's got a little weirder since then.
Yeah.
So on Tuesday, I believe we got an update here from Bloomberg and VGC Video Game Chronicles. Kind of both came out some reports here. So I'm using the VGC one because their website's free. Bloomberg is a paid one. But Jason Schreier is originally one that broke this, but VGC corroborated this and added some of their own stuff. So I'm taking a lot of the stuff here from VGC. I believe this was Andy Robertson. I want to give him credit for that. According to people with knowledge of the situation. So initially, Helen Taylor said that she was only offered, she's been the voice actor for Bayonetta since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
She said that she was only offered $4,000 to come back, which I think we'd all agree, embarrassing low offer.
Right.
So if true, but we got some updates here, like I said, from Bloomberg and VGC. According to the people with knowledge of the situation as well as documentation reviewed by Bloomberg and VGC, Platinum intended to rehire Taylor last summer. It's claimed that Platinum sought to hire Taylor for at least 5 sessions. VGC sources suggested it could be as few as 4, with each paying $3,000 to $4,000 for 4 hours in the studio each. This would have brought the Taylor's total fee to a minimum of $15,000. One person with knowledge of the deal claimed to VGC that this represented a significant increase on Taylor's fee for the second game. From the second game, rather. The voice actor responded by asking, this is alleged, the voice actor responded by asking for a 6-figure sum as well as residuals, so she wanted like a percentage of every copy sold. Taylor did deny that, though. In a private message exchange with VGC, Taylor called the suggestion that she was offered more than $4,000 categorically untrue. She also labeled claims by sources that she could have earned $15,000 an absolute lie and a complete joke. She also said that I'd quite like to put this in the rearview mirror and leave the whole bloody franchise behind. So I think I'll just let my video stand. I spoke the truth. In Taylor's video message, which she said were an act of her breaking non-disclosure agreements. The actress claimed that her concern about being out of work caused her to suffer anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. And people, I guess, at Platinum have mentioned that Taylor has had issues with depression and mental illness in the past. So it's a very weird situation. And obviously you want to be delicate about this because if this is true, apparently Platinum and her are saying this, that she has issues with depression and mental illness. And I'm not going to sit there and say, she did this because of that. I'm never going to talk about someone's mental illness. That's something you got to take very seriously. But we talked about last week, and one of the things I said at the time was it's kind of hard. It's easier to believe because she is breaking NDAs, she's burning bridges, and there's not really a lot to gain out of doing this. There really is nothing to gain out of doing this other than just raising awareness.
No.
And I think our one issue with this whole thing, I think the issue for a lot of people was just at the end when she called out Jennifer Hale, which was, just not fair to her. She's just accepting a role. Whether she had any idea what happened with Helena before all of this, we don't know. We'll never know. But even
I did like Jennifer Hale's response to all this and stuff. She put it the most professional way possible in that regards. Not just like the whole thing, just stating that, hey, you know what, I support voice actors and this and that. I'm just trying to paraphrase some stuff. And plus, I'm under NDAs and all this other stuff. It was very well thought out, very professional. And I expect that from Jennifer Hale because she is a fantastic voice actress and knows exactly what's going on in regards to the whole field and stuff.
Yeah. And she can't really say anything she wanted to. So, yeah. It's just kind of a whole weird situation where it's one of those things where even if she was offered $15,000, $20,000, we'll say somewhere between there, minimum of $15,000 up to $20,000, still doesn't seem like a lot for this role. I know this isn't the biggest role in the role. This isn't Call of Duty, but this is going to be, Bayonetta has a pretty decent sized franchise, not a big one, but this is a franchise that's probably going to sell 1 to 2 million copies, at least worst case 1 million, probably a few. Especially with that Switch boost. We see that time and time again, where Pikmin 3 Deluxe, the Metroid from last year, the new Kirby this year comes out, and within a couple months immediately breaks the record of the immediately becomes the best selling game in its franchise history.
Right.
And I feel like that's probably gonna be the case here for Bayonetta 3. I feel like that's easily gonna be the case for Bayonetta 3. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this is one of those things where a lot of things, I don't feel like anybody is wholly in the wrong here. If Helena lied. That's awful. That sucked. I feel bad for the people working at Platinum just working on this game. I feel bad for Jennifer Hale for being put in the crossfire, especially. I mean, people just like attacking Jennifer on Twitter after all this happened. That's awful. People, I mean, but that's the internet. People are shitty, and it's sad, but that's just the case that we live in. People now attacking Helena, for potentially lying about this. Also, really shitty, really awful. But I don't know. I just don't, because like we don't know what these guys make. Like the whole she wanted 100. She wanted at least 6 figures in residuals. I mean, I don't know. I mean, 6 figures a lot for, doesn't seem for what she's, I know like, well, she's only working, 5 sessions for 4 hours. That's 20 hours of work. 15. I'm like, okay, well, she's making a fucking video game. She's a voice actor for a video game. This is also she's already worked on 4 previous games for this. She did the 2 Smash Brothers. And then now this would have been her 3rd Bayonetta. Usually once you're doing something like the 3rd mainline of anything, the price goes way up. You hear about that and everything. You hear about Netflix. They always sign their actors to 2-year deals, two season deals. That's why most of their shows only last 2 seasons. Because after the 2nd season, everybody demands way more fucking money. We hear about Stranger Things. It's costing them $30 million an episode because they're paying so much money for these actors. Obviously, that Stranger Things is much bigger. Stranger Things is much bigger than this. But you hear about that. And I think, I don't know, like she has a lot more of an argument to like, hey, I am here working on my 3rd mainline version of this, my 5th time overall working on this. Residuals. And that's a common thing in anything nowadays. You see that with like actors when they're doing something on streaming or stuff with like movies in theaters, like the lead actors and a movie going to theaters. They take less money up front. And then they get a cut. They get residuals in the back end. Obviously, the movie, like the movie companies don't want them. The studios don't want them to do that because they want to just give them the flat fee. I imagine it sounds like some of the top end, voice actors stuff like that get that, but I don't know. Like, I don't like the argument people were saying. Well, she's only working 20 hours. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I understand. Like, there's a big difference what we do for like. What we do for a living. I know what she's doing for a living. No one's paying money to come to see me. No one's ordering things to be delivered to their house on my route to see me. So, like that's why I don't make way more money than I'm making. Because no one really they don't really care who delivers it. They just want their fucking shit. So I don't know. It just sucks. This whole situation just sucks. We're just like, the problem is we're learning a lot on the back end of stuff, but we don't know. I feel like we got a small, tiny little sample size of the whole story. What about you, Gables?
Though we may not know the entirety of the whole story, there are a couple things that remain clear. One, in regards to the voice acting field, we covered some bit of it last week to where, yeah, there are some voice actors that don't really get their fair share in regards to this, to their payments or what they feel like they should be earning in that retrospect. At the time, we only knew that the voice actress said that she was only making $4,000 in all in force of that role. Of course, Platinum has later reiterated that it was multiple different sessions at about $4,000 to $5,000 a session.
$3,000 to $4,000 per session.
Okay, $3,000 to $4,000. Yeah. Thank you. $3,000 to $4,000 based upon like 4 hours, like 5 4-hour sessions.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know for that, that's definitely a lot more than what she initially was perpetually saying. If she would have went out and just said, hey, this is what I'm going through, in regards of, okay, I'm making, so much in regards to that, to its full extent and stuff. I think people would have been maybe much more understanding of it, because in some way she kind of lied in that retrospect, because it's like, hey, I'm only making $4,000 in all. People interpreted it as like she was making just $4,000 in all for the entirety of that stuff.
It's something that like I said, this is all alleged. We don't know, but something that someone was saying was maybe it could have been one of those things where like they offered her this, and she came back with, say she did come back with that. Obviously negotiations. The person making the offer, the initial offer for the service, lowballs you, and then you go in over the top, and you kind of meet in the middle somewhere. That's just negotiations, anything. We know about we're sports fans. We get that. We know about this stuff.
Right.
So someone was saying was like maybe they offered her this much, say the 15,000, and she came back with the residuals and the six figures, and maybe she was thinking they weren't gonna give me that. Maybe they'll give me 50 or something like that. Who knows? Whatever. It's all hypothetical. And then they're like, well, fuck you. Here's $4,000 then. That could be, and that happens sometimes
That's the
too.
thing, though. We
don't know. Yeah.
because we never are going to know the full initial details upon that stuff. But what I am more inclined to believe is in regards to, hey, Jason Schreier's coverage in regards to things that are coming out from Platinum and stuff, because he has more insider knowledge inside the gaming field.
Yeah.
I mean, we both know that in that regard.
He's batting 1,000.
He is definitely he's definitely batting a high bat count in regards to getting like key information stuff from game to publishers and developers alike. So I'm more inclined to agree with his insights in regards to the whole thing about Platinum and stuff, because regardless of the issues at hand currently, it's a terrible look upon Helena in and of itself, because it makes her look like she is being petty upon like having this role, to where it's like everything that seems to be coming out from like just Jennifer Hale's side and some bits of Platinum has been kind of like, it's been subtle. It's been kind of like professional as far as I've seen, certainly so far. But the thing that you could say it's like, well, hey, she wants people not to buy the game, boycott the game because of the fact that she only made this amount of money in regards to this role. I mean, she's welcome to go forth and say that, but at the same time, that kind of, in my honest opinion, looks petty. It looks crass.
Yeah.
It looks like something that's initially just being very spiteful and very negative because this company treated her not in the way that she felt that she wanted to be treated at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time though, it's like it's hard to blame her. Like I've been fired from a job before, and like from a store I worked at when I was like a teenager, and I've not gone back since. So it's like,
right,
was that pettiness? Sure, because it was bullshit when I got fired. But yeah, sure. I mean, like I can understand it. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, Tyler, at the same point, it's not enough to go forth and like critically attack people on Twitter over. I mean,
it's fucking video
especially
games.
not her, especially not Jennifer Hale in this regards. This is between the person of Helena and stuff and Platinum Games in and of itself. To where if she really had big old disputes, or if she felt like she didn't earn to a certain extent that she wanted and stuff, I mean, she's welcome to go forward and turn down the offer and leave. That's exactly what she did. But at the same time, going on the Twitter and just going and just talking about like just basically just setting things off in motion to what we know right now currently and stuff. You know what? She's welcome to do so, but at the same time, one, it puts in the limelight that there are going to be very few game publishers or developers that are want even to ask her in regards to wanting to voice act a game in this sort of role, because she now has that negative connotation of, oh, hey, she, in their eyes, she may look petty or she may look this and that because of the fact that she initially went through this offer and stuff, arguing about certain price points. Like I said before, she's welcome to do so to negotiate.
Yeah.
People negotiate over their contract stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But she pretty much burned any type of crossroad inside of this game industry. I will be highly surprised if she accepts, or if someone were to accept her inside of another voice acting role in the games industry in general. It shouldn't be that way, and I do agree that voice actors in general do deserve to have their just payments and royalties given to them in parts of their roles, especially if they're reused upon multiple years, multiple generations in regards to the gaming stuff. But until we reach to that certain point, we're gonna have element like actions like what happened with Helena and stuff and with Platinum Games. It sucks, but at the same point, it's not enough. It's not really like enough to go and attack each other over, especially attacking her, because that's not going to solve anything. All it's going to create is more bitterness and hatred towards each other.
Yeah.
More so than what we could go forth and withstand currently, though. But what is to say right now is like there has been a cause and effect sort of elements to it, to where, believe it or not, though, Bayonetta 3's pre-order sales and everything else has skyrocketed as a result of this whole controversy back and forth and stuff, to where at one point it was actually within the top 10 selling things for Amazon's like game stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, those
fans
usually
are
go up. To be fair, that
yeah,
this could be not correlated. That typically right before a game comes out, that's when people pre-order the most. So it could
right.
have just
But
been just happenstance. That was to be fair.
well, and you're correct. That is definitely the possibility too. But more people now have heard about Bayonetta 3 more right now in the past couple weeks than they've had been over the past few years,
Yeah.
especially since that game was announced at that Nintendo Direct. That gameplay elements was shown.
Yeah.
So more eyes upon it, and basically this is going to be more publicity to see that game even sell even better than possibly what it is before.
Yeah.
As shitty as that may sound, this is a reality to where it's like, hell, was Bayonetta, she got replaced by Jennifer Hale, and now it's like we're just at the outsiders looking in to see if this thing will ever be resolved, or if it's something that is just never going to be resolved at all.
Yeah. I don't feel like there's gonna be much more. I think this is kind of the end of it here.
Yeah.
Honestly, from all sides, Hale, Taylor, Platinum Games, Nintendo, whatever. Yeah, like I said, the whole situation is just kind of, it just sucks because it's like a lot of like we're just seeing a lot of people throw shit at each other. Not really throw shit at each other, but we're just seeing a lot of reports going back and forth. But from where we're at, we're never really gonna know what really happened. We're never gonna know the truth fully. Like I said, I like Dre Schreier. I can't disagree. He's never been wrong as far as as far as I know. He's never been wrong. But
So I wouldn't go so far to that extent, though. I will say, because he has more insider knowledge and stuff, I will tend to believe him in this case and scenario, because Platinum Games, they weren't going to go out and say, oh no, she only made this, and that, or this is what they offer. They can't technically do that, especially if it's like anything contractually obligated, like information.
And I wouldn't expect them to do that either. Like Platinum Games is like, and like this whole situation is just kind of sad now, and it just kind of sucks for everybody involved. I don't blame, like Helena said, she like I wasn't going to say anything until they said the thing about they lied when they said that, like, oh well, she was busy, so she couldn't do it. She's like, no, I had the time. You just because like so like I don't know, like it just sucks, and I don't like, I'm not going to sit there. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not going to sit there and like
there really isn't anything to be mad about.
Yeah, but just how the internet is. It's just like it sucks. Where it's like I see like people went from being pissed off at Platinum and Jennifer Hale to now they're pissed off at Helena. Sorry, I can't. Helena. And it's just like, just because you get one side, you went 180 to this to 180 to that. I don't know. Like everybody just it's the internet, I guess. Everybody needs to stop fucking thing. Also, it's fucking video games. Like there's much worse things to be mad about in the world. Does it suck? Yeah. Do I think, especially if you're the title character of a franchise, not just the first game, but this is like your fifth time voicing this character, the third time in a mainline game, you're the title character, something, and it's a million seller. Residuals sounds fair, especially when I talked about last week. Bayonetta 1 has been ported, I don't know, fucking almost as many times as goddamn Skyrim at this point.
Let's see, 3, almost 4, maybe 3 or 4 times.
From PS3 to 360 to Wii to PC to Switch, or to Wii U, to then it got remastered for the new gen. It got a remaster for PC. It got remastered for the Switch. Then they just put it out again just recently physically on the Switch. So it's been remastered, and she never got a dime for any of that. So it's like it's kind of hard to blame if you're a voice actor and if you can get paid, get fucking paid. So no, but we need to move on.
Okay.
Let's talk about some other news. Not a lot of other news this week, Gables. We can go through this real fast. I thought, but it's just really funny. At the exact same time, 8 a.m. Central Time, I believe on Wednesday, we got 2 blog posts. One from Microsoft, one from PlayStation, about their Pro controllers. So
irony.
We'll start off with one here. It's almost like one of them new. So starting off here, they already announced this. I guess I missed this, but they announced They announced this last month, but they officially announced it's out now. The Xbox Elite Controller 2 is now on Design Lab. So really cool. Design Lab, you can design your controller however you want with colors, and you can engrave like your gamer tag or whatever into it if you want. It's now you can now do that as of, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember what day now. It starts at $150. There are other options though you can buy, and like personalize it. You can like get accessory packs, stuff like that. But you can get like all the components with everything for $210. The only downside is it does not come with that really. Everybody always talks about how awesome the Elite controller, like the pack it comes in, like the it does not come with one of those, unfortunately. But it starts at $150. You can get up to $210. But also at the exact same time, they're kind of the bigger news because it's like the first one where the Elite controller's been out for a long time. PlayStation announced the DualSense Edge, which they revealed at the what's that? It's not Summer Game Fest. The Gamescom one with Jeff Keighley. I can't remember what it's called.
Yes, I believe it was Gamescom.
Yeah, Gamescom at night. What the fuck it was called? Anyways, it's coming out just January 26th. You can start pre-ordering them on October 25th. So next Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday sounds right. But it will be $200. And then if you want replaceable sticks, it's $20 more. So it comes with replaceable everything else. It comes with the pack, like the carrying case, everything like that. It is $200. I believe the base, the Xbox Elite controller, I believe was $180 when it launched, and now it's down to $150. And they put out there's a newer version that just came out that is like the cheaper version of the controller Elite 2 that has $130, but doesn't have you can't swap the stuff out. So this is coming out. The DualSense Edge, as it's called, $200. I am not that guy, even though I say that I have 3 DualSenses, and I'm getting my 4th one with my God of War one in a couple of weeks. So I have, in a sense, basically could have bought a DualSense Edge and then an extra controller at this point. I don't know, Gables. Like I know you have the Elite controller too. You're very happy with it. What is this?
Okay.
What is this doing for you?
All right, so with that Xbox Elite controller that I had initially gotten, I've had it for over 2 years. The swappable joysticks, the swappable like button like stuff, the whole adjustments and everything and stuff. I love it. It's one of the best controllers I've ever had. Like barring the Nintendo Switch's Pro controller, the Wii U Pro controller and stuff. Those controllers have consistencies where they count. It feels great in your hands. The buttons and stuff are very clickable and stuff, and regardless after how many times you use them, they feel like they're quality controllers. With that Xbox Series controller that I've had ever since like 2020, I haven't had any type of issues with stick drifts, any type of issues with like the buttons being clogged down, say with dirt or anything else like that. The rechargeable battery stuff lasts a hell of a long time, a lot longer than some of the current controllers that we got on the marketplace right now. My Series controller went upwards to like about 40 hours on a single charge.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the fucking Nintendo Switch's Pro controller, to where you plug it into that damn system and it will last like about anywhere between that 35 to 40 hour range based upon how much you use in regards to its power or in terms of what setting you have something on. So with Xbox releasing this other version of the controller, which I have seen in stores, but I have no interest in buying another Elite controller stuff because the current one I have is fantastic. But I'm curious to see, like Sony with their DualSense Elite sort of controller that they got going right there. I think, personally, it's kind of crazy that they allow you to charge $20 extra just to have the swappable sticks.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something that was automatically included inside the Xbox One for their initial controller.
I think that's what comes with the extra stuff, though. If you buy the Elite accessory pack, that's what you have to buy that to get the extra components with the controller for $210 with Design Lab. So if you want all the extra, you want the whole kit and caboodle. Basically, the DualSense Edge is $220, the Elite controller, but the Design Lab is $210.
All right, so this is my recommendation for people. If you're interested in either one of these controllers, do not buy them at launch, and I'll tell you why. These type of controllers did have initial issues at launch in regards to the button workings and stuff like that, especially the mapping stuff. The series controller especially, I've heard mixed things like off and on with those first initial batch controllers. You want to wait at least 6 months to possibly a year after these type of controllers launch because you'll get the fine tuning stuff out of the way and stuff with the companies and stuff. Plus, these controllers will be down in they will definitely be down in price like about a year later after their launch. And that's when you go through and invest in them. When I got my Xbox Elite controller, I got mine for roughly around, God, I want to say 150 to 180. It was around that range. Definitely worth the pickup. I have not had to replace my Xbox controller stuff once. And even though I'm still playing on the Xbox One S version of the Microsoft systems and stuff, that controller feels like top notch. I could use it on my Xbox, use it on my fucking computer if I feel like it, and I have from time to time. But the fact remains is, if you want a controller that's going to last for a hell of a long time without you having remotely even flirting with the idea, oh, hey, there's another controller right there. I want to go forth and spend another 50 or 60 or 70 or whatever the type of money in order to get that, I should do that. But it's going to be curious to see the quality of the build for the PlayStation 5 one. I am remotely curious and stuff to where it's like, I do not want to keep on buying a lot of these damn controllers and stuff. I had my PS5 for over a year now. My original DualSense is pretty much done because it's like the stick drift stuff. I tried fixing that. I fucked that one up. I willfully admit I still have the freaking corpse of that PS5 controller somewhere in my bathroom. And I have my purple one. I love the purple one. But I have the Ragnarok controller that's going to be coming in too. So I have these two that are going to be my main controller stuff. So I'm going to be waiting like another year after the stuff to personally try to invest in it. But I am definitely saying to you listeners, you can afford to wait on these controllers. They will go down in price eventually. But definitely wait and see what Sony does with theirs, because
or just wait for reviews.
This is their first initial, this is basically their first initial shot at a premium PlayStation controller.
Yeah, for $200, that thing better fucking work really well. But Gables, let's move on to what we've been playing. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go first.
Go ahead.
I played a couple new games this week. I got Plague Tale's Requiem came out on Game Pass. Gables, what do we call Game Pass?
Best deal in gaming.
Goddamn right. And then I picked up Mario+Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I bought the $90 edition that comes with like the DLC and all that shit. So
yeah,
I can't wait for all that DLC. But what do I want to start here? I'm gonna start with Mario+Rabbids, Gables.
Okay.
I am about 10 hours in. Everybody, if you've been listening for a long time, Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle, my favorite game on the Switch. It was my number 2 game of 2017, only behind Horizon Zero Dawn. I would argue that Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle was 5 games better in 2017 than Breath of the Wild. Nothing. Okay, Gables is so immune to my Breath of the Wild shots. At this point, doesn't react to him. So, Gables.
What?
Yeah.
You're like.
I like
the fact you're about 10 hours into it, man. It just amazes me.
My work changed our lunch period, so now we got to take our lunches. So I just I had to sit in my truck for an hour. So I've been playing this game on my lunch breaks. I played some last night. I played a little bit this morning too. So I like the game. I don't love the game. They made a lot of changes from the first game. So kind of the first game was that like you were like, it was almost like you were like, like the map on like Super Mario World, shit like that, like before you go to the levels. Basically every level was you just walking on these maps and you just follow the path, and instead of like going into a level, you went to a battle And there was like a little side pass you can do, and you can like find some secrets, find some like chests, and find some unlockables, shit like that. Or you can find like you can just go, oh, what's over here on this left? Let's go left instead of just following this path here. This one now, it's more open areas.
Right.
So I've beaten the first 2 worlds. The first world is like a beach, and the second world is you're at like a snowy mountain, snowy area. And now they're more open areas rather than like you're just like, and there's instead of like there's set battles and then there's like little side battles you can do whether if you want to or not in the first game. Now there's like it's turned more into like a mini Ubisoft game.
Oh, okay.
Now there's like side quests, and it's kind of like you can like get into random battles, but like the enemies are on the screen and they'll chase you if they see you, or you can go up and dash into them to start a battle if you want. And they made a lot of changes to the gameplay itself, where like in the game, so it's like a strategy game, obviously like that, like XCOM. In the first game, you got 2 action points. Everything you did took a point. You can move X amount. And I'd take 1 if you want to go walk further. It would take both action points. And then you couldn't attack or whatever like that. The things you can do work out. This now you can move around freely, and that moving doesn't take up any action points. You can like hop on each other to go further, or you can still dash into people and do damage and then come back. One of the big things they added was like they added these characters called Sparks, which obviously is in the title. But the Sparks are basically rabbited star bits. And they have like you like unlock and you find new these sparks as you go, and there's mainline ones you'll find, and there's also like side ones you can only get from doing side quests, stuff like that. And each one has like a power up or like a boost that you can do, and you have to like use an action point in the game in the battles to initiate their abilities. So like some will like boost your attacks, or will like people within like this area of the field, like all your enemies will take less damage for 1 turn, or like one will like make your person make one of your teammates invisible, or now they have fire power or water power or whatever, stuff like that. And you can level them up with star bits. As you go, you defeat enemies. You travel on the map. You can find star bits, stuff like that. And then, or you can actually there's like a shop. You get coins. You can buy items. Like you can buy items that will heal you. You can buy like POWs that will do like damage to like an area of effect damage. Or there's like these rare candy, basically like from like Pokemon style stuff, where you can just like use and it'll just automatically make them go up a whole level. But it's obviously like in Pokemon, you want to wait till the very end of the game, or at least till you're later in the game to start using those rare candies. I've got a few I found. They'll do that. But some of my issues with this game, like the game still is really good, plays really well. I like the game. I like the strategy elements of it. I love the like trying to just calculate in my head how to do as much damage as possible. The issue I have is in the first game, they like in each battle, the game was already this game. It's just the problem is Spark Hopes. It's just so fucking easy. And the first game was also very easy. Don't get me wrong. But what was cool about it was each individual battle had challenges to it that would like you didn't have to do them, but you could do them. And that was a fun for me, where I would try. I think it was like I can't remember how it worked out, but I 100%ed every single battle up until the final one. I couldn't 100% the final.
Oh, wow.
The final battle against, I believe it was Bowser. I didn't 100% that one, but like I won. Like it'd be like every battle is different. Like where you can like some of you're just trying to reach the other end of the map. Some of you're trying to defeat all the enemies. Some of you're just trying to defeat a certain amount of enemies. But there was like different things where like get to the end of the map in 5 turns, or defeat X amount of enemies in X amount of turns, or win the battle without taking any damage, or stuff like that. There's always these different challenges to it, and you would earn extra points for doing it. Usually like more coins or something like that for doing those things. Well, they don't have those now. So now I'm just doing the battles. And the battles are fun.
Okay.
They're good, but it's just like I'm just going with the motions at this point with some of these. And like I said, like now there's like, instead of just like I can avoid certain battles I want to, because it's just now the enemies are just walking around the field and I can just go around them or stuff like that. Well, it's like, well, that Pokemon in me where it's like, playing Pokemon games for so long. It's like, well, I want to battle everybody here. It's like I want to battle all the trainers. You know, like I gotta face these guys. And then at a certain point, it's just like, why am I doing like? They're just like I'm just like I can easily beat them in one turn. It's just like all these like random battles are just like the same versions over like the same field, the same exact enemies set in the exact same spot over and over again.
Right.
So I know the strategy. Go ahead.
The question I have for you is like when you do these random battles and stuff, do you earn experience after
You
each of these battles?
you do, but it's very very small. And like if you do like the mainline ones, like you earn way more for it. Like I'm at the point where like I need like 600-700 experience points to go up a level. I'm like I'm level 16 now. And doing these random battles will get you like 30 experience points.
Okay.
So I was like, wow.
So only 30.
Yeah, we need 600-700 to level up. With these sparks of hope, with these sparks that you add, because each character can have 2. So I have 2 abilities attached to it. So, and like some of these, like I've worked out where it's like, okay, as soon as the battle starts, I have Mario carries this one. I load it up to like, all right, so everybody, like as soon as I start up, boom, this turn, everybody does 40% more damage with all their attacks.
Right.
So then I go in, I just fuck everybody up, do as much damage as I can right at the beginning. 90% of the time, I beat everybody in the first move, and that first turn before they even get a chance to attack. And then if I don't, I have one of my characters has a move where everybody in the area, all my teammates, boom, I do his spark move where everybody takes 50% less damage. So I take very little damage. All right, survive that, no problem. There's only like 1 or 2 characters left. Take them out, game over. And like I just did one, and so on top of that is the enemies have just become very generic, where you're no longer like the first boss you fight in the first game is a rabid Donkey Kong, and it's a very fun, different boss battle. He's got this big, huge, like he's got what's the fucking giant stone thing is called?
Like a thwomp?
Thwomp. Yes. He carries the thwomp on his back, and he could fucking like fuck you up if you get too close to him or if he gets too close to you. And like it was just all kinds of cool shit like that. Or like all the boss battles were fucking awesome, and they build them up. Like one of the boss battles was a opera singing ghost, a rabbit ghost, and it was fucking incredible. One of the coolest boss fights I've ever seen. I remember Justin and I when we talked about that game, like we just raved about that boss fight, and like he would just like go the cutscene going into it. He just sang a whole fucking opera song, and then in between the turns, he would just continue to sing opera. It was fucking incredible. And this is just like you're just fighting like you're fighting this like I can't remember the name of like the main baddie in this, but like it's called the Dark Mess is what the stuff like these weird blobs that are like kind of like in each planet like are like kind of ruining like the world you're in, and you got to defeat all these blobs that are like covering up things, and it opens up new areas to go down. And it's just like these generic like eyeball blobs, and you just got to defeat them over and over again. And like the first one, like you just had to shoot the eyes on all the blob. Like there was like 10. So you just had to go around, defeat the enemies while you're trying to do it, survive, take them all out, boom, done. Second one, a little more interesting, I guess. But we had fought like this ghost rabbit thing called Midnight. It was kind of cool, but there was 3 different stages. All 3 stages, I beat it in the first turn.
Yeah.
Beat it in the first fucking turn. So it's like this is what I'm talking about, where it's like if you're like I understand like Pokemon, it's baby's first RPG. This is like baby's first strategic game. I get it, but I just wish that they at least still have the challenge modes, the challenging stuff in there. So like it would make me like work and be a little more strategic, or like even if it wasn't like even in the first game, it really wasn't necessary. Like it wasn't the value of doing these things wasn't a lot, but it's like okay, well the ego in me is like, well, okay, fuck, I'm gonna get that. Okay, I'll fucking get that. And like I'd restart I'd do the battles over again the first game to make sure if I didn't get a challenge before I move on and continue to play the game. So yeah, and oh man.
So the initial thing that you had issues with this game is like 1, they took out the challenges that they were present inside the first game. 2, that there is a lot more generic enemies that you're facing off as
3-4 enemies
to the
over
first
and over
game,
again.
where you've cited the first boss from the first game and stuff, the Rabbit Donkey Kong, as opposed to the first boss in this game, which is something a little bit more generic this and that
blob.
And stuff. And on top of that, this game feels like it was incredibly easier. You think than the first game?
The battling isn't necessarily easier. that just takes out the challenge modes. Like I said, it would give you the
Okay.
optional challenges to like, all you gotta do to you can just beat him and move on. But to me, it was like, oh fuck, okay, beat him in less than 5 turns. All right, I think I can do that. And like I said, I'm just running through people, and it's just like, I don't stop. I don't know. Like the gameplay is still fun. It's still good. It's just like I said though, like I don't want to do these like I don't want to do these random battles, but you kind of have to because you got to level up. It's like, and then
So
and these random battles are like I said, they're the exact same battles over and over again. Everybody, you're the exact same field. Everybody, they're the enemies, the exact same enemies, put in the exact same spot. So I already know the strategy to take them all out as efficiently as possible. It's just doing things as efficiently as possible. That's all I'm doing. Not doing it for fun. Not doing it because I'm entertained. I'm just doing it because I have to. It's like it's not like I understand every game. Like a lot of games have grinding, but like a lot of games at least make it fun to grind, and it's just not. It's not doing that. There's like side quests you can do that will have the like obviously that like it's grinding, and I know that I'm not stupid to that, but like you're just adding a little bit to it. Give me a little story. It's like porn. I give me a little bit of story so I know why they're fucking. Like I in the end I'm just watching it so that I can see two people fuck, but sometimes more. But and this like I don't know. I lost my point there. But anyways, sorry.
my question to you before you went on to that tangent was, you can change your difficulties, correct? Or is it just a set difficulty?
I believe you can. I guess I could raise the difficulty. Yes. I guess I could do
So
that. I'm on normal
technically
though.
Okay, you're on normal.
Mm.
So basically, what you could have done from the get-go is possibly put it on like a harder difficulty and stuff.
I will
Maybe
try
that
that.
would have satisfied some of that.
Yeah,
Try that
but it's just more.
initially.
Yeah, it's just more. I just don't want to do the random battles because it's just kind of like.
Well, yeah,
But
understandable.
I
You don't
have
want
to.
to keep
But it's
grinding on stuff,
yeah.
but the game
Oh, I don't.
forces you to do that under stress, correct?
Yeah, I mean I
Correct?
don't mind grinding. It's just like make it different.
Right,
Like
right.
I just like okay, well we have these two rabbits over here, these two fucking bigger rabbits over here that do more damage. All right, cool. Well, all right, I'm gonna have Rabbit Peach jump off my head. It's like even if I make it more difficult, I already know the fucking strategy. It's like I already know it.
Right.
So it's like that's not the problem. Like we will help with like the boss battles. Yeah, of course. But like that's a very small part of the game. So yeah, I will definitely put it up on a hard difficulty. But it's like I'm playing on normal. I don't know. It's just yeah, I don't know. But on top of that, Gables, on top of that, there is so much fucking loading in this game.
Oh, yeah?
So much loading. And I don't mean they're like 10, 20, 30 seconds. This isn't Fallout 4 bad. Don't get me wrong. But everything needs to load. And it's like, I mean, it's like 3-4 seconds here. I'm talking. But click on your map, load screen. Switch over to your skill tree, load screen. Switch over to your sparks, load screen. Go back to the game, load screen. Look at side quests, load screen. Switch back over one page over, load screen. Fucking every little thing. Switch. Sometimes even switching from like you end your turn to then switch to the enemy's turn. It freezes to load. I love
That sounds like hardware
I
limitation.
know. I'm not blaming. This is not me blaming the game. I'm not blaming it at all. There's frame rate issues like a motherfucker.
Yep.
And even in cutscenes, the frames drop. Anytime like something pops up on the screen, like boom, a new quest you just found pops up, or coins. Too many coins come on the screen. Star bits come on the screen. Frames drop, and it's not. This is not a fast pace. This is not Mario Odyssey or anything like that. I don't need this to be 60 frames per second, but it's just like it is. This is like I'm just walking around an open world. But my God, and this is not me bagging on the Nintendo Switch. This is me. I had the same feeling with the PS4 Pro. I had the same feeling with the Xbox 360 Elite. Was that the one? Was it Elite? Was that the later one that we had?
Yeah.
The black one. I just give me. I will pay the money. Just get me a new fucking more powerful. Give me a Switch Pro. I don't need a Switch 2. Give me a fucking Switch Pro. God damn it, because it's just adding to it my frustration. I'm not frustrated with this game, but it's just like it's just sucking more fun out of the game for me. Where I'm just sitting there like all right, well, fuck, God damn it, I need to go 2 screens over. Click.
Well, that's
load,
the thing.
click,
We're
load.
so spoiled with like how seamless and smooth some of the gaming content we play are
Yeah.
in regards to like say other consoles, including some other first-party games on the Switch itself, to where now we're at that point and stuff to where even with some of the first party and third party games like this one, seeing how notably flawed the hardware is so much more apparent,
Yeah,
and it can be remedied if, for fuck's sake, Nintendo comes out with a more powerful fucking system. I
yeah,
don't even care if I'm playing the Switch for another 5 years. Give me a better upgraded model of the damn thing,
yeah.
so that way we can avoid issues like stuttering, frame rate drops, like friggin'
Loading.
things like loading in and stuff. That should not even be an issue on a cartridge-based game.
Yeah.
Loading.
I'm playing this digitally. I bought it digitally. So, um,
Ah,
like, look, I was there playing Gears of War 3 at the end of the 360 era. I remember going like, man, I'm just ducking under a lot of fences here for some reason. Oh, that's loading. Okay, Final Fantasy 7 remake. Man, I'm just like crawling unnecessarily through a lot of things, or like shimmering through these fences a lot. Well, that's
that's
weird.
covering load
That's
screens.
load screens. Yes, I was there for that, and it was fucking annoying. I hated it. And here we are with the Switch, the exact same thing. So, um,
Oh,
yeah, like I'm still like, look, I still like, there's a lot of charm to it. And like I said, the easiness of it is definitely an issue, but more so than anything, it's just the lack of different enemies. And man, they just fucking nailed it so well with Kingdom Battle. Like I said, like all these really awesome. They built up these boss fights, and it's like there's no build to these boss fights. The boss fights that we do have, they're just nothing. Even like there's no like that mini boss stuff that was really cool in the first game. Um, I don't know. It feels like they kind of made a mini Ubisoft game, which might not be a bad thing, but I don't know. I'd rather just have more of what just build upon Kingdom Battles instead of, and like kind of go up from there instead of like, oh cool, we're gonna make Mario+Rabbids Ubisoft. The other game I played, Plague Tale Requiem. I am not super long into this game. I'm only 2.5 hours in. I'm on chapter 3 now. I love Plague Tale. Innocence, yes, Innocence.
yeah.
I played that last year for the first time. Really good game. Definitely like need to do a lot with the combat stuff. But I like the story. Love the builds with like Amicia and Hugo. And this kind of building upon it. They've definitely done. Like I said, I'm early on, but I haven't got really into. I haven't even got like really into the air. Like I'm still like building up like what the story of this game is. But I like it so far. What they've done with like the stealth is better. The combat is a little bit better. This is still a stealth based game, but defending yourself if you get caught is cool. Like you can
Right.
like you can find knives throughout the world, and you can like if you get caught and they run up to you, you can still like you can use a knife one time and it'll kill them, and you can run away. And with the first game, if you got caught, you're pretty just kind of fucked. I love this game. I'm playing on my Series S, and this is not like top tier. Like I imagine if I had an X, it'd be wow. But like I am blown away how well this thing looks on my Series S. Blown away by how well it looks and it's running on my Series S. But yeah, like so far I'm really enjoying it. It's starting off way better in the first game. The first 10 minutes, the rats ate your fucking dog. That did not happen in this game. So I like that. I like where the story is going. I think they made a really good story, with this one being like the 1400s. And with the was it Black Plague? Is that what that's called?
I believe so.
Yeah, that sounds right. We'll go with that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But yeah, like I said, I am only a couple hours in. But Gables, I'm feeling like I might be building them upon like a Game of the Year contender right here because it's got those vibes. That's kind of like early impressions. Obviously, anything can happen. Like, hey, anything can happen here with Mario+Rabbids Sparks. So I can come back next week and be like, hey, I'm fucking dumbass. Which I am a dumbass. I'm wrong. But I could be like, hey, I was wrong. It got better in the end. I beat the first 2 worlds. There's 5 apparently. I'm only on chapter 3 of Plague Tale Requiem. I believe there's like 17. I could be totally wrong, but so far I am incredibly happy with Plague Tale Requiem, and I'm whelmed by Sparks of Hope. What about you, Gills? We've been playing.
Well, I had been playing a couple things. To get it out of the way first, yes, I had been playing a little bit more of Destiny 2. That's because I've been playing with some friends to tackle the dungeon that is a part of this Witch Queen expansion stuff. It's called Duality. And this Duality dungeon is separated into a couple different parts, right? Platforming, main room, boss battle type of thing, platforming, a main room kind of boss battle thing, and then like platforming again, and then a final boss sort of thing. The thing about this one that's kind of interesting is like inside of like the main like rooms where you have these main battles and stuff, you gotta switch on and off these little like gauges, right? You have to shoot these little gauges, and it's these bells they're called, and it transfers you from like the regular like kind of dimension that you're at, and also inside it's like a nightmare realm sort of dimension, to where you can go forth and collect certain things to match certain like puzzle stuff inside of like the particular rooms that you're at, but at the same time the only way you can get like certain things done is you have to do this stuff. But sorry about that. My dog is going a little bit off, going right at this moment. But just I'm gonna have to pause this for a little moment and stuff. So Tyler,
All right, I'll talk. Anyways, play still Requiem, man. Like if you haven't played Innocence, I highly recommend it. I don't want to spoil it. It's hard to talk about because like I want to talk a little bit more, but it's on Game Pass. Um, I highly recommend it. It's kind of like if Last of Us, if they put it in the 1400s, and Gables had to walk away. All right, but like it's kind of like Last of Us, but they put it in the 1400s, and like instead of like, but and like, he played as a girl and her little brother, and her little brother control rats. And it's fucking wild. You just murder a lot of people. But so far, oh man, I'm loving what they're doing so far with the story in this. And like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. 'Cause I think Play Something is really good, and I think like the story really well. Not necessarily saying top tier game of the year, like greatest story of all time type of story, but it could be game of the year. This one could be, but first one maybe not. This one, like first one, very solid 8 out of 10. This one getting vibes of like this could be, like I said, game of the year contender. I love what they're doing with the Misia here. Like they're kind of dealing with like, like killing and death stuff like that. And like something I forgot to mention was that like you have like a skill tree, but from what it looks like here is you don't get earn like skill points. You can put those sorts of things. You get skills based off of how you deal with situations. So if you kill a lot of people, you get more skill points for unlock abilities for like skills for like for aggressiveness. And if you do a really good job at stealth, you get more skills unlocked from being stealthy. So that's pretty cool. That's interesting. Gables, continue on.
okay. just want to let everyone know things are going okay on my end and stuff like that. I had to come out of my room.
Someone almost escaped one of the bodies, so we had to put him back.
Oh no, I had to come out of my room because my mom was telling me, it's like, oh, there's a light in the middle of my screen. I don't know why. It went black and it just went in the middle. And I just go over there, and then all of a sudden I look at the screen. I turn it on to a different channel, flip the channels. Like, you had it on split screen. And so obviously I went through and fixed that for her and stuff and came back in. But what I was saying is this duality dungeon, it's fairly difficult. It's split off into segmented sections, like I stated, but there's a theme to it to where you have to match corresponding symbols in like particular rooms, like say chalice, war beast, axes, and like sun. Those are the four symbols you got to match certain things, but the uh, the way the dungeon has you go through and mix and match things, it could be kind of interesting. And like I delved in what I touched upon initially, you have to shoot this bell, right? It actually opens or closes and stuff, but that's how you transverse through some of these rooms in the platforming section and also inside the battle stuff as well. The first time you do that, you have to defeat these particular amount of guardians that are protecting this room, right? And so you do that inside this chaotic sort of realm in order to collect these sort of thing essences, right? And so when you collect them, and you have to race all the way back to the particular bell that's been cleared off by your teammates, because they have to clear out these bell ringers, right? Or these bell protectors or guardians or whatsoever. So you have to kill them in order to get clearance to be at this particular bell to warp back to the other dimension in order to like place them upon certain parts of the stage matching their symbol. So going through all that stuff, yeah, it was definitely kind of jarring at first because I had to go forth and adjust on the fly of, oh, okay, there's these different time frames. Okay, I have to have my teammates go and clear out the things while I'm going and like getting these rooms cleared out and all these symbol stuff. I was having a hell of a hard time doing that because when the first time I did it, I did not have the right setup that I wanted for my weapons and my armor, and it just kind of like went downhill for some portions of it. But the first time I went into that dungeon and stuff with my teammates, we eventually got to the final battle of that dungeon. So that was pretty cool. We have not cleared it yet. It's that difficult to where we need literally like about 3 or 4 people knowing exactly what they're doing in order to clear this stuff. And the last time I tried it, I think it was like around Tuesday night or like Wednesday night or something with a couple other friends. And we got farther in it. We went to the damage state for that the enemy of this dungeon called Keitel and stuff, and how he has all his like stuff going through. You had to literally shoot these rockets around. This room is structured to where it looks like a gigantic belfry type of thing, to where you have to shoot like the pillars and stuff like that in order to get him going to like running towards you and stuff. He's has his overshield, right? And you have to lead him to one of the bells that you have to shoot. It stuns him, and that's how you go through and do certain damage phase stuff to him. He is so tanky. It literally will take us like about 4 or 5 different attempts just to go and get him like halfway sometimes. So it's not so much difficulty as it is just endurance, and the damn dude's like a fucking bullet sponge. So trying to do that stuff is kind of all over the place. Destiny 2 has its Halloween stuff, its festival going on right now too. So I did a little bit of that. You're basically going in different type of haunted sectors, they're calling it. You have to collect candy and all this other stuff in order to advance certain missions and complete certain stuff in regards to that. You get specific items or weapons or armor based upon the season in general. And then like during the haunted sections and stuff, you get to wait inside of like a circle and stuff. You summon these sort of monsters, and they are like flaming like pumpkin heads. So those are pretty fun to try to take out. But other than that, I had played more of God of War. I did play a little bit more of God of War. I'm to the point where I met the dude that works on your armor and your
Yep.
weapons for the first time.
Brock and Sindri. You
Yeah,
met one of them.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I met one of them. I've met one of them. Met the first one. So the kind of mouthy older brother. So
Brock.
I've met him and stuff.
Yeah, maybe Brock.
He's pretty cool. Honestly, I do like him and stuff in regards to what he does, and like the dynamic between him and Kratos are kind of funny. But
He's the one with the bowl.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, okay.
He's the one with the bowl.
Yep.
The blue guy with the bowl. But yeah, the combat is growing on me. Definitely the combat is growing on me, dude. I mean, the fucking...
Have you thrown the axe yet?
Yes, I have thrown the axe.
Okay, well, you should immediately...
That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, as soon as you throw the axe and it comes back to you, it's grown on you. Done.
Absolutely. That's the way I'm defeating a lot of these
That's how you defeat everybody.
Or tankier enemies.
Yes.
That's how I'm taking out everybody. I'm tossing the damn axe, I'm repelling it up, and it literally chips away like almost half their damage every time I do it.
Oh, it's growing on you.
I'm at the point where I've now upgraded.
You're growing on me,
Kratos,
Gables.
where he's more... I've literally upgraded Kratos now. He's a bit more stronger now with his axe and stuff. So I've done that in first initial things to level up through the skill tree stuff.
Yeah.
And I've gone through a couple of different portions already to where I faced off against one of these giant freaking behemoths that have these freaking stone pillars that go through and like they toss them at you and this and that.
The trolls.
I'm enjoying that aspect stuff. But let's see. I now at the point where like 3 or 4 hours in to the game and stuff. I am definitely enjoying what I've been playing. And like I've stated before, this is most likely going to be one of those games that I'm going to be chipping away at, probably during Extra Life as well, because I want to get...
Can't wait to be here for that.
Well, Tyler, dude, I have literally like 3 or 4 games that are installed, and all of them are like... Well, actually, most of them are games that you have played through, but I have not had a chance to go through and beat. God of War is one. Horizon Zero Dawn is another. And like Final Fantasy VII Remake is the third one.
Games.
Like I said, man, I have them installed, and I did not want to delete them off my fucking PS5. Hence why I have the NVMe now. But yeah, I'm chipping away at this shit. I'm enjoying what I'm playing. My goal is to have this game beaten before Ragnarok comes
Got
out
3
because
weeks.
that's why I wanted to do that.
Mm.
But yeah, I've played through some of that. I am going to be playing more of that really soon.
Fucking better. I want a report every week until it's done.
Oh, let's see. What else have I been playing this week? What's kind of hilarious.
You
I've only dealt...
literally just talked about 3 of my game of the years of the last 5 years that you haven't even played. you just had them installed.
Oh, it's interesting the amount of backlog stuff that I generally tackle.
It pisses me off.
And I've only done little bits of say Cuphead last night, and that's about it. And that's defeating one of the bosses. That's the fucking cupcake lady. That's like bonbon stuff that switches between that, literally look at Pac-Man son of a gun, like a friggin' running around like gumball machine and all this other shit. So Cuphead's Cuphead. I love playing that game. It's definitely a harder style of old school platformer, but it's definitely still one of the things I love to chip away at. But yeah, that's all I've been playing this week.
I'm so fucking pissed. I can't believe we're going to end the podcast like that. Damn it. Anyways, if you want to be pissed off at Gables like me, please comment, follow, subscribe, comment on the podcast. Tell me how pissed off you are. But thank you guys so much for listening. I feel like I said, if you want more of this, follow, subscribe, tell Gables fuck you. Follow us. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitter, Facebook, all that fun jazz. Look in the show description down below. Find us down there. Hit that thumbs. No, what? Don't hit that thumbs up. I don't want you to hit that thumbs up because that'll make Gables too fucking happy because it's on his junk. I don't want Gables to be happy I don't want him to feel happiness until he beats God of War 2018. Once he beats God of War 2018, then he'll allow him to be happy. Then you come back. Then you hit that thumbs up button. Till then, I'll laugh. I say nay. I was just Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. Hopefully, I do not have angry PMs inside of my PSN profile or anything else.
I'm going to send them to you right now.
Well, I'm pretty sure you will. But at the same point, guys, thank you very much for listening to us. And most importantly of all, have yourself a fun time, play some fun games. And thank you once again for listening to the Drunk-Nerds podcast.
I'm literally sending you a message on PSN right now. It says fuck you. All right. Love you guys.
See ya.
It's bullshit.